Rich kids mocked the man cleaning their mess. Seconds later, he walked onto a jet that left everyone speechless. The sun rose over the private airport, casting golden light across rows of gleaming jets. Inside the VIP lounge, soft music played, and the smell of fresh coffee drifted through the air. In a quiet corner, a man in a faded blue uniform knelt with a mop and bucket, wiping up a sticky spill before anyone could slip. His badge said, Karim, maintenance, but no one looked at the name. A cluster of teenagers lounged near the glass wall, designer bags at their feet. They were filming themselves for social media, laughing loudly at their own jokes. One boy tipped his cup, letting dark coffee splash onto the polished floor. "Clean that up, old man," he sneered without looking down. Another girl pointed at the janitor's worn-out shoes and snapped a photo. "Hashtag airport beggar," she whispered, and her friends snickered as she uploaded it. Across the room, a flight attendant paused, her smile fading as she watched. Other staff turned away, pretending not to hear. They all knew the kids' parents and didn't want trouble. Karim kept wiping, his face calm, his back straight. As he wrung out the mop, his eyes shifted toward a sleek white jet parked just outside the window. For a heartbeat, something like quiet power flickered across his face. A voice seemed to echo in the air. But what they didn't know was who he really was. Curious to see what happens next? Don't miss it. Hit subscribe and tap the like button now so you're the first to watch how this story unfolds. The private terminal was a world of its own. Marble floors shone like mirrors, and the smell of jet fuel mixed with expensive perfume. The teenagers sprawled on the velvet chairs, their parents' names opening every door for them. Airport staff kept their distance, nodding politely but avoiding eye contact. In this space, the kids felt untouchable. Karim moved quietly between tables, picking up napkins, wiping crumbs, clearing cups left behind. Each time he passed, the insults grew bolder. "Hey, trash man," one boy called, flicking a sugar packet at his feet. "Airport beggar," another girl added, and their laughter echoed off the glass walls. A boy with a diamond earring raised his phone. "Film him," he told his friend. "Tag it hashtag billionaire brats. Let's show our followers what kind of people work here." Within seconds, the clip was live, hearts and laughing emojis filling the screen. Karim said nothing. He bent to pick up the sugar packet, his hand steady. As he straightened, a small photo slipped from his ID badge, a smiling young girl holding a paper airplane. He brushed the picture gently with his thumb before tucking it back in place. Near the counter, the flight attendant leaned over to her coworker. "Why does he always bring that briefcase?" she whispered. "No janitor carries one of those." The kids were too busy laughing to notice when the intercom crackled overhead. "Mr. Karim, please proceed to gate 3. Your flight is ready." Karim set his mop aside, picked up the mysterious briefcase, and walked toward the exit without a word. The lounge felt strangely quiet, a question hanging in the air. Years earlier, long before the uniform and mop, Karim had been an aircraft mechanic. He spent nights learning every bolt and wire of the planes he serviced, saving each spare rupee until he could buy a single share in a small charter company. Through years of patience and honest work, that share grew into ownership. Under another name, he built one of the largest private aviation fleets in the region. He became known among pilots and staff as a quiet leader who gave scholarships to workers' children and paid for emergency surgeries when employees fell ill. Yet he never forgot where he came from. Whenever he visited his hangars, he preferred plain clothes, moving among cleaners and ground crews like one of them. "If you want to know the truth about your company," he once told a friend, "ask the janitor, not the boardroom." Today, after receiving complaints about rude behavior in the VIP lounge, he had decided to see it for himself, not as Mr. Karim the CEO, but as Karim the janitor. While he worked silently, their video climbed across social media. Under the hashtag billionaire brats, strangers began to comment, "Why are these kids bullying an older man?" "Respect the workers who make your flights possible." A few even recognized his face, but most did not. Karim reached for his briefcase, the same one he used years ago to carry his first mechanical tools. Now it holds flight plans and contracts. The intercom called again, clearer this time. "Mr. Karim, your jet is ready." The teenagers looked up from their phones, their smiles fading as realization crept in. The flight attendant's eyes widened. Something about this janitor, no longer matched the image they had mocked. Kareem walked past the velvet rope, mop forgotten, briefcase in hand. Security straightened at his approach and stepped aside without a word. The flight attendant, who had watched in silence, now offered a respectful nod. "Your plane is ready, sir," she said softly. The teenagers stared as the man they had mocked moved with quiet authority through the VIP lane. He didn't glance at them. Outside the window, the very jet they had been scheduled to clean for their parents' company gleamed in the sunlight. Kareem crossed the tarmac as an assistant in a dark suit hurried forward, taking his briefcase with a bow. Inside the lounge, phones lowered and mouths hung open. "Wait, he's getting on that jet?" one whispered. "Who is he?" another hissed. On their screens, notifications exploded. Comments flooded their own video. "That's Kareem Aviation's CEO. You just bullied the owner of half the jets in that hangar. Respect the people who run your world, kids." Laughing emojis turned into shocked faces. At that same moment, the airport manager dialed a number. Across town, parents answered their phones to hear about their children's behavior. One mother appeared minutes later, pale with embarrassment, apologizing to staff in front of everyone. The kids shrank in their seats. Kareem paused at the foot of the stairs to his jet. Engines purred, ready to lift him above the noise and arrogance he had just endured. He turned back only once. His voice was calm but firm, carrying over the wind. "Respect costs nothing. Remember that." He climbed the steps and disappeared into the cabin. The engines roared louder, drowning out the whispers and the shame that now filled the lounge. The jet's engines thundered as it rolled down the runway, sunlight flashing across its silver wings. Inside the lounge, the teenagers stood frozen, phones limp in their hands. No one laughed now. The flight attendant shook her head, a small smile tugging at her lips. "Now that's class," she murmured. A voice rose over the image of the plane lifting into the sky. "Never judge a person by their clothes or their job. True worth is shown by actions, not appearances." Dignity and humility outshine arrogance every time. Back in the lounge, the kids quietly opened their apps. One by one, they deleted the video. A new post appeared instead, an apology to the man they had mocked and to the staff they had disrespected. Their parents soon arrived, faces stern but ashamed. Community service shifts were arranged at the airport so the teenagers could learn firsthand the value of the work they had ridiculed. High above the clouds, Kareem sat back in his seat, no mop in sight, only the quiet hum of engines. In his hand was the photo of his daughter holding a paper airplane. He smiled softly and whispered, "Always stay humble." If this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Share it with a friend who needs a reminder about respect and kindness. Hit subscribe now and join our community for more powerful, real-life inspired stories of hidden heroes. Together we can spread dignity, empathy, and hope.